I concealed a Lioden drama from you guys. At the end of April, beginning of May, I had a commenter reach out on my YouTube channel and they asked, what happened to your Lioden account? And I said the same thing I've been saying for a couple of years, which is just like, I'm not playing. It's not a big deal. I've just decided that the game and I we are incompatible, so we've parted ways. No. And they're like, there's something wrong with your account. I tried logging in and I realized, oh dang, there's something wrong with my account. So I reached out to the Lioden team. I reached out to them on May 8th, and by May 18th, I once again had access to my account. Absolute shout outs to the staff. Kate's helped me with this. They really mobilized, got me back into my account, made sure I had all my items and that I was happy and secure. I really appreciated the timeliness on this because I know that games like Neopets, it takes like forever to have things addressed, and Lioden is one of the bigger games, and the fact that they got back to me so quickly and got me into my account so quickly was very impressive. The last time that I made a video about Lioden was July of 2018, and it was a feature mapping video about the Beetle game. If you like user experience or human-computer interface design, I totally recommend that you watch this video. I would say it's one of my finer works. It's like a portfolio piece, and I'm very proud of that video, so go check it out. I walk through the feature interchangeability or interactivity between different features on Lioden and the way that they play nice together. So today we're going to go through one method of diagnosing and troubleshooting feature interplayability and how evident it is to users that objects are connected. So I kind of want to talk about like the design philosophy of putting like things together, and then also the search engine philosophy of having things linked. Since then, I've received many comments with people wishing that I would go back to Lioden. A couple of months ago, I made a video about Dapper Volk where I came to the conclusion that in order to find the game enjoyable, you have to manage your own expectations about what you can accomplish. It's not exactly the most fun thing to do, to not accomplish everything that you feel like you can, especially when so much hinges on progressing in the game, but it is a way to figure out how to enjoy the game. I would like to talk today a little bit about Lioden and their features, deciding how to prioritize different things, how I would recommend optimizations to the gameplay design, and I really just want to highlight the unique offerings of Lioden. In my opinion, one of the most interesting, unique offerings and innovations that Lioden brings to the field of virtual pet games is the idea that your lionesses, your virtual pets, have some sort of agency, and there are multiple parameters in which if you do not meet their expectations, they can leave, or there could be some sort of negative repercussions that affect your gameplay experience or your relationship with that lion. For instance, I have some lionesses that are pregnant, and if you don't provide them with a nest, the chances of something going wrong with their pregnancy increase, but you also can't have your lioness on a nest while they're hunting. The most foundational way that this affects your pride is if you don't feed or play with your lions and their mood and their hunger decreases to a critical point, they can just straight up leave your den. I appreciate that. I've long thought that if Neopets reshaped their virtual pet ownership, it would be a more interesting game. But it's not just Neopets, it's all virtual pet sites. If the pets had more agency, if it was less of a one-to-one ownership where one owner owns one pet and more of a decentralized, different users can have different relationships with a large variety of pets, and letting those relationships stagnate gives other people an opportunity to swoop in, except for perhaps locked or secured pets. I think that that would be a very interesting innovation, and to me the fact that Lioden brings this to this table, and they were inspired to do so by replicating a real life scenario, leaves the opportunity for innovation and invention. This isn't just with the lionesses, it's with the cubs. If you don't assign your cub to somebody to take care of it, that cub can experience a negative scenario and no longer be part of your den, which is a negative experience because you spent all that time getting your lioness pregnant and then making sure that the cub was born healthy, and you have incentive to negotiate and maintain that relationship with the virtual pet. I appreciate that, and this innovation leads to another opportunity, which is a profit generating service for the website. So on Lioden, there is a paid currency. They're called gold beetles, and you could either purchase them outright or you can purchase them by using the on-site currency and trading. This is great. I love this. I love that they do that. But one of the things that you can purchase is this feed all / play all tool. This isn't a cheat, it's a shortcut. It's not that hard to go in and feed all of your lions at once or play with all of your lions. It takes less than 10 minutes, but giving this shortcut doesn't give anybody an unfair advantage in the game, and it just makes playing the game more enjoyable, and it gives me the opportunity to support the game. So this is why the method of maintaining the relationships with your lions and those lions agencies make the game more exciting and interesting. The next notable feature that I want to talk about is the Beetle minigame. I did devote an entire video to talking about the Beetle minigame, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about how it works. The too long didn't read or like 4-second recap is that when Pokemon Go happened, Lioden released the Beetle battling minigame where your lions have beetles, they could battle other beetles and level up. You could sell the beetles. Once they die, you get their shells and you could collect them and sell them. It's a 15-minute cooldown game, and my favorite part of the Beetle game is that it is divorced from the majority of the other cooldowns on the site. So there are some cooldowns that apply to this game. There's a daily cooldown that you can train your beetles once a day. There's another daily cooldown where you could feed your larva once a day, but once the beetle is fully grown, you don't need to feed it anymore. There is a maintenance requirement where if you don't feed your larva, they will die. So, pro tip, take care of them because like other things in this game, the larvae have agency. And then you can battle your beetles every 15 minutes. I really like that cooldown number that is very short. You could play several rounds an hour, and it's almost an anchor that brings you back to the game. The other dailies have cooldowns like a half an hour or 40 minutes. They are staggered, so when you have the Beetle game top of mind, you're more likely to come back more frequently, and you're more likely to overlap with those other cooldowns, which are the patrolling, the hunting, exploring. My criticism of the Beetle game, and this drives me absolutely mad, this is such a huge pain point for me. This is my biggest aggravation with Lioden, which speaks to the quality of the game it is, that my biggest frustration is such a small thing. My big frustration is that there is no centralized Beetle page. There is a Beetle navigation toolbar that shows up when you are looking at your different Beetle mounds. You could access your Beetle mounds by going to your den page, and then you scroll down to where your Beetle mounds are, and once you select that, you're presented with a list of your beetles in the mound that you've selected, and then there is this navigation bar, and it has your different mounds, the training grounds, and then battling. Where we would really like to see this is on the breadcrumbs of the page. Breadcrumbs are a navigation tool in user interface design, and how it works is at the top left of the page, you would see the home page and then each page that you navigated through to get to that point. So you would have the ability to click on any previous page in the tree. This is named after Hansel and Gretel leaving breadcrumbs so that they could find their way home. It's a pretty simple basic concept. It's quite elegant in its simplicity. The alternative is this navigation bar, but the navigation bar is not persistent. It only exists on the mound pages. Why isn't it also on the training grounds and the battling page? It is just unendingly frustrating to me that once you go to training, there is no direct way to get back to the mound, and there's no way to go to battling from training or vice versa. You have to navigate through the website, go through pages that are unrelated to the Beetle minigame. This is it's very frustrating, and every time that I'm on the website, I'm bothered by this, and it feels like such a simple fix. Just add that navigation header to the rest of the Beetle minigame, or breadcrumb it. Up at the top of the page, have it say home, beetles, beetle mounds, beetle training grounds, beetle battling. Just make it easy to navigate between them. If there was a Beetle hub page where all of the minigame elements were hosted through, right? If there was one page that you could go to, you had all three of those linked from that one page, you could breadcrumb it pretty easily. You could breadcrumb it regardless. The breadcrumb would just lead back to the mounds. It frustrates me so much. That final thing that I want to talk about is choosing what to prioritize in the game and deciding how much you want to accomplish. Like I mentioned before, it's not incredibly fun to accomplish less than you think that you should be able to. Your lionesses can go on 10 hunts a day, and it's easy to say to yourself, like, oh, I could definitely do that. And then if you fall short of that, you're like, well, I mean, what's even the point of playing if I'm not going to achieve my goal? Or that could be something that you think of and when you're logging in or you're about to log in and say, I don't actually think I can accomplish that today, so I don't really want to even log in. I don't even want to cause a rollover if I'm not going to be able to accomplish everything that I believe that I should be able to accomplish. I don't think that setting up your game with these high of available accomplishments is a good idea. And the main reason why is because people want to feel a sense of accomplishment. And if it feels like something that they should be able to do, people want to be able to do it. So I actually think that games like Lioden and Dapper Volk would benefit so much by lowering the ceiling on what a player can do in a day. In my opinion and experience, when a game has a limit on something that is actually quite hard to attain for a regular person, the only people who will be able to accomplish that limit and really exceed in the game are people with a lot of personal wealth who don't necessarily have to work, low personal responsibility, like children who don't have a job, and it leaves everybody who is not a child without a job or a independently wealthy person who doesn't have to work in a situation where they feel less accomplished and like the game is not built for them. So maybe ask yourself, who is my intended audience? Is it children? Is it independently wealthy people? Or is it the vast majority of humans who have a limited amount of time that they can spend on my game? There's going to be people who comment, but I have that free time. Why are you saying that they shouldn't make the game fun for me? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the level of effort required to achieve 100% of the accomplishments on a game should not be something that requires 12 hours, maybe more, around 6 hours, because that would cater to the majority of users, but also be something that the majority of users would have to strive and go out of their way to do. I think Lioden and Dapper Volk kind of face that insurmountable achievement mountain that the majority of users just can't reach. The right way to approach that is by turning off high score lists, not paying attention to high score lists, and instead just focusing on marginal accomplishment and accepting that 1 or 2 logons a day is more than enough. And once you've accepted that, once you've come to terms with the fact that you're not going to have 100% accomplishment every day, you can enjoy the game. When it comes to balancing gameplay achievement for the majority of users, ultimately users have to rely on the game makers, designers, and developers to make the right decisions. And it is possible that the Lioden team is doing research analysis and reweighting the game in favor of the players' playability. The only reason why I bring it up is because I frequently see comments about Lioden being too time consuming, and when I'm hearing it and I'm also feeling it leads me to believe that it's something worth investigating, researching, analyzing, and trying to roll out solutions for. I compare it to Dappervolk because I hear similar criticisms and concerns about Dappervolk. However, I know that the Lioden team is more open to implementing new fixes faster because the Lioden team has a larger staff and more resources. I also know that in the past, solutions that I've recommended have wound up on the Lioden website. So that's why I offer up this idea that perhaps things could be reweighted. At the end of the day, I find the game enjoyable the way it is, so I don't necessarily know if it's a big opportunity to pursue. And like I said, it is one of the bigger games. It's right in the middle of the pack. It's the third most populated game that I play whenever I log users online. So clearly it's working for a lot of people. And the Lioden team is very good at rolling out updates and listening to feedback. So I don't think any of this is on fire. I don't think any of it's worth concern. Just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate your guys' feedback and support. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. It helps the algorithm know that it resonated with you, but it also helps other people find the video. So like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell on if you like my content. Hey, I wanted to spend 5 seconds on something unrelated, which is the Neopets NFT fiasco that's currently ongoing. Neopets is moving forward with another NFT blockchain even after the CryptoQuest thing years ago crashed and burned. I had several interviews, emails, correspondence with the CryptoQuest team back in the day, and from our conversations, I realized that it was a terrible idea, which is why I never reported on it. And I equally believe that this is a disaster. It's not smart use of IP. It is a cheap cash grab, and it cheapens the IP and hurts brand loyalty. So stupid, so bad, so wrong. That's my 2 cents. Thank you everybody so much for your continued support on my Patreon and elsewhere. You guys are really great. All right, bye.